Welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, the EY Entrepreneur of the Year took place last Thursday night, with the TV show airing tonight on B3.
Well, spoiler alert, here's the moment the winner of the industry category was announced.
So the 2017 EY Industry Entrepreneur of the Year is Evelyn O'Toole, CIO.
Winner of the industry category, founder and CEO of Complete Laboratory Solutions, Evelyn O'Toole is with us. Good morning, Evelyn.
Morning, Evelyn.
Good morning.
And many congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
What's that moment like when your name is read out in a room full of your peers?
Incredible. I think you go partly deaf, partly conscious.
Everything slows down.
Yeah, everything slows down.
Yeah.
I've often heard stories about on All Ireland Day, people going up for a shot and the ball gets small, and it was a bit like that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was shrinking a little bit towards the stage.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? What does being, being picked out as the winner in that category? What does that mean to you personally?
It's quite humbling.
Yeah.
It means an awful lot on loads of different levels. There's recognition. You realise you've come out of a category of fantastic other finalists.
It's serious competition,
So that's incredible. You're representing your company, where you're from, those who supported you. So there's lots, and I guess there's a bit of history attached to my win.
Well, we'd love to hear more about that. So tell us about CLS, first of all, and how you got started, because you were an extremely young age when you decided to go it alone. And I thought there was a typo in the notes. Was it just 25 you were?
25. So I grew up in Clifton in Connemara, and I became a scientist through AIT and SIT, and I got a local job for 2.5 years, and that ended in the fire burning down the building.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
So within 2 weeks I decided I was going to try and create security for myself, where I wouldn't have to depend on another company, because there were very few opportunities for scientists to work in the west of Ireland back then.
Sure.
Right.
And this was 1994, so it wasn't really the brightest economic time in the Irish history.
No.
So I think people associate with it must have been very stressful and nerve-wracking, and I just was oblivious to the whole thing. I just saw it as being something to try, and if it worked, it was fantastic.
You saw it as a challenge.
I saw it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Not even a challenge. I saw it as an opportunity. I thought there was space in there for somebody like me. And if it worked, the good thing is I could have brought in loads of scientists to work with me. And that's exactly
what has happened?
What we created.
So when you were 25, you decided to set up CLS. And I suppose it's that foresight. You were ahead of the game in the sense that you were that young. You felt that you could take the risks and just push yourself down if it didn't work out the way you'd planned. But it did work out. So tell us about those early years and how you managed to sort of rally the troops and get credit for what you were doing.
So sometimes being young when you start has disadvantages. So you will be seen as you don't have enough experience. And I think you just have to live through those times, and you have to pick the markets that you're good at. So I initially started with food because that was my background in terms of experience. Microbiology, testing of food. Then I developed the whole area of environmental because that was actually my background. And we just kind of took everything very simply. We concentrated on developing really good methods and getting licenses for recognition. And I would have focused on just sort of getting enough to keep us fed. So I would meet clients, I'd look them in the eye, I would say, I'll do a really good job for you if you give me a chance. And it worked nearly all the time.
Yeah.
And then in 2003, we had a different experience where it was like the first 6 years were so easy. And then an international group tried to buy us out, and we decided to keep going by ourselves.
That's a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
A lot of people would be very happy to sell on and, get a profit and move on.
I think when you've got a dream to create something special and you want to build your own team, then it's different. So it wasn't an issue, but they dipped their prices below our net. And for the very first time, we had to manage a financial problem because we lost about 50% of our business. And things changed then because I became a business person rather than a scientist. I formed a team around me who were my senior management team. And I became a leader, a strategist, a planner. And I gave myself enough time to let the vision that I had develop into the future.
Looking back at it now, Evelyn, and everything that you have gone through and your company have gone through, what advice would you give yourself if you were sitting in front of that girl now and say, what would be the nugget that would help her through it and make her keep going? What advice would you give her?
I think I'd just tell her that she was a pretty average student. She's got a great future ahead of her, because the nice surprises, she'll be great when she hits the lab.
Yeah.
And she'll have a great ability to form relationships long term with people and get on really well with colleagues and really respect clients and client retention. And I think as well, the part that I didn't expect that I'd be good at was I developed a really high level of sustainability. So based on our experience on just food and environmental, I added in a medical device and pharmaceutical testing lab in Galway City.
So you expanded in the last number of years.
So we expanded, and we also were very customer focused. So we'd like to think we come out with the best solution for our customers, because that gives us long term with them.
And that only comes from talking to your customers and asking
Absolutely.
them what are the problems they're facing, what are the problems they need solving.
Yeah.
And as you say, because you hear these words about being customer focused and listening to your customers, that's what that means. But you do genuinely listen to clients when you talk to them.
And produce flexibility.
Yeah.
So we developed an area called Analysts on Contract, which means that we train our colleagues to work on client sites. So in-source, outsource, it's the best solution for the client. And at the moment, we're the only ones that are capable of producing analysts, because we can actually train them in-house.
So you have 140 people working with you now. How is this award, do you think, how is it going to change the landscape for you? And what are your plans for expansion? And are you going to move into other areas as well that you perhaps thought twice about in the past?
So I think the award will mean, I would hope it will motivate all my colleagues even further than where we are. I think it'll give us confidence. Probably the most thing it's given us is profile. I've never done live telly before. This is my first experience.
Really?
I've had national interviews on papers.
Yeah.
So the profile has been amazing.
That's great.
And that is incredible. We've loads of capacity to fill. We've built up scale. And with labs, you have to invest in everything before the business comes. So we've a lot to fill.
So you have to roll the dice almost.
Exactly.
You have to build it and they will come.
We've 7% overseas business. We're FDA approved for testing what's exported to the US.
Okay.
So we'd like to grow that piece of the international piece.
Expand
In
there,
terms of the actual EY Entrepreneur of the Year scheme, what advice would you give somebody who's on the borderline thinking about entering it? How would you sum it up for them, your experience with it?
I think the level of respect that everyone has for each other is quite remarkably unusual. It's amazing. In terms of the EY guys and what they do the Carlsberg version of organisation and business. They're incredible.
So it was a lovely experience to be part of.
There's no dip in the standard from start to finish.
Yeah.
The support you get is incredible. The way you're minded, you're brought it on a very protected journey, and you're exposed as much as you like.
I would say networking as well is incredible for business and for you.
You've got a full alumni of about 450 people.
So the access is there.
All willing to help each other.
Yeah.
So it's quite incredible. It is. It has to be the best experience that I've had in my lifetime and my career.
That's incredible.
In terms of these guys make you feel special, and all of us when we talk. And there's no EY guys around, we're astonished by the level of attention they give to everything.
Evan, going forward, you mentioned you've more recently become a strategist and a leader and looking, your plans for expansion into the US market and so on. Do you miss the days of being a scientist? Or do you still manage to get back in the lab and get your hands dirty from time to time?
I still like to work on the stuff that's broken. That's the area I like. I like the new stuff. So we do a lot of R&D support for companies on new market studies. So I still dip into that. If there's a client with an issue, I still like to dip into that. I really haven't changed since I was a kid or since I started the business. It's just my role has evolved.
Your methods haven't changed, just the business has got bigger around.
And my attitude towards people or my love for the area, nothing has dipped. It's just your role as a CEO changes, and
As your business changes.
And I embrace change. It's fantastic, you know.
Yeah. What a lovely success story.
We shall see the fruits of your labour tonight. You can catch the EY Entrepreneur of the Year on B3 tonight at 8 p.m.
Look at that fabulous trophy. Congratulations, Evelyn, and lovely to have you join
Evelyn,
us
thank
this
you
morning.
for coming in.
Thank
It's
you
been
so
lovely to
much.
talk.
Thank you.